What's the fastest you've ever gone from caring about someone to straight up loathing them? When I was younger, I found out one of my childhood friends was stealing from me and the friendship group. Every so often we would lose a phone or iPod, then said friend would have conveniently got the same model but beat it up a bit with his initials and type X or something stupid. Being a good friend, we didn't want to believe it, but we started putting distinct markings on our items. Lo and behold, my phone goes missing and he turns up with the same one a few weeks later with the markings. We brought him up on it, but he just lost his temper and stormed off. 15 years later, he's in prison for armed robbery. A former friend bailed on me when we were supposed to hang out, and so I called my then girlfriend to see what she was doing, and I could hear him talking to her parents in the background. As fast as it took for his wife to call me at work to tell me that he was not only married, but had 3 children including a newborn. That is brutal. Sorry. This was when I was still in my teens many decades ago. It broke my heart until he started stalking me. My hurt turned to hate quite quickly. Talking to my then girlfriend about her cheating on me, explaining I couldn't ever possibly trust her again, and she replied, "But do you really need to trust me?" Clearly had different ideas on what's required for a healthy relationship. For context, relationship was 6 years long. We had been talking about marriage. We owned a dog together. This was the second instance of cheating. This conversation was what pushed me over the edge into the territory of self-respect. Broke up with her the next day. Much happier since. I have a 2-for-1 deal here. Walking in on my now ex-boyfriend having sex with my ex-best friend in my own room on my birthday party. It was my 19th birthday. When I walked in, I was shocked, told him that it's over, kicked both of them out into 2 degrees Celsius weather while they were still half naked, and then did tequila shots with my other, non-a-hole friends. I did throw the bed out afterwards just because it reminded me of it daily. I don't know what happened to them, but I really don't care. It took some time to trust people again, but I'm much better now. It's like they got together beforehand and brainstormed as to how they could make it as insulting as possible. Friend at a bar tells some people we just met how her mother died. Later in the night I expressed my sympathy now she's without parents. She told me hush hush a few years prior about how father had passed. Wait, did I tell you back then my dad died? I thought I told you it was my mom. No, both my parents are still alive. When we were in uni, I just read in a book telling people a parent has died is a good way to get sympathy. Ha ha. Fucking sociopath. I still love, playing Pokemon, and I had no female friends with the same interest. Found out about this group of guys that played it after school. Got really excited and made plans with them. I waited for hours and they never showed up. Next day I overhear my best childhood friend laughing about how annoying I was and that they had to hide from me to play in peace. That really hurt. 1-year friendship with this girl. I invited her over to my new apartment. She came over and wanted to gossip about her coworkers. When she paused, I tried to add into the conversation, make a joke, give reassurance, add a comment, etc. But she would immediately raise her voice and start talking over me. I kept getting angrier every time it happened until I was actually loathing her internally. She was so self-absorbed that she didn't notice I went from smiling and engaged to frowning while staring off into space. After 2+ hours of not being allowed to talk, I made up an excuse to kick her out of the apartment, and then vowed to never see her again. My ex-girlfriend. We were childhood sweethearts. Dated from 17 to 25. Found out she was cheating on me with her boss, who was more than twice our age. Then proceeded to find out there was many more occurrences, and she was a very different person than the person I'd been dating. Shattered. The first girl I ever dated died unexpectedly on my then current girlfriend and my's 3-year anniversary. My then girlfriend stated she was pissed because my ex had died on purpose that day because it was our anniversary. I was utterly disgusted, and it completely changed how I viewed her altogether. Things fell apart shortly after, and we broke up. Sounds like your ex's plan worked well. My best friend back in school got AF from the teacher. Me and him asked if we can go to the toilet. I go to the toilet to text a bit with friends from other school. He goes to the parking lot and scratches the teacher's car. School break and the teacher finds his car. We both get called to the director, etc., etc. Friend said that we both scratched the car. I showed the teacher my phone to show him I was texting and couldn't have scratches his car. told friend to fuck off, and went out. My, at the time, girlfriend had a little sister. She was graduating from college, and her college was not close by. It was a few states away, and at least a 5-hour drive. We both loved the sister, but we weren't going to make it to her graduation. We couldn't afford a hotel for the weekend, and we couldn't take off from work to get there on time. She freaked out on us. It was the biggest tantrum I've seen an adult make. My girlfriend and I both assumed it wasn't that big of a deal, but seeing how much her sister freaked out, we reevaluated the situation. So, we packed up quickly and drove through the night to get there. She told us we could sleep in her apartment that night, but that we need to get a hotel the following night. That was fine. We found something online for like $100 night. We got to her place in record time. It was not even midnight. We felt like heroes for making up so quickly. We get to her apartment, and she won't let us in. She says she's already in bed, and we should have gotten there earlier if we wanted to take her up on her offer. So, we're both exhausted, and we have nowhere to stay. I wanted to just turn around and go back home, but my girlfriend was a better person than me. Luckily, we had other friends in the city, and one was nice enough to give us their couches for the night. I assumed the sister was getting one last lay with a college hookup, because I could not imagine any other scenario where she couldn't simply walk down 2 flights of stairs to open the door for us. I ended up marrying the girlfriend, and still bring up this situation anytime she gets in a fight with her sister. It's usually I can't believe how selfish my sister is being, and I go, you can't? Remember that time we drove to her college GRA? And she cuts me off. Of course she also remembers it. Gave my roommate an envelope with a money order for bills in it, to drop in the mail. He got arrested. While looking for some of his documents to take to him, I found the opened, empty envelope in his closet. Hey, I was looking for your stuff, but all I found was another charge the police can pile on top. I had a lunch shift in high school where I knew absolutely no one but my brother. He absolutely denied all knowledge of who I was, even after the people he was with knew I was his brother. It was super fucking awkward. Eventually I made friends with some classmates and sat with them. When he convinced his wife to kick her young kids out because they, the husband and wife, were finally having a child together, he was very open about hating his stepkids. Fuck his wife for choosing him over her own kids. Partner of 3 years broke up with me via text while I was at work. I lost my job by leaving work immediately to go home, a complete wreck, to discover he had given his friends a month's notice so they all helped him move, and I was literally the last one to know. When he left suddenly like this, he had in his account the money I had raised for charity by shaving my head because of my father's terminal illness. Went from upset to level 1000 rage as soon as I realized this. I am doing much better now. The thing that still hurts is not that it ended so suddenly and badly, but that he took that money. It took me 2 years to raise it, and felt like the only thing I could do for my terminally ill father was at my wife's family Christmas gift exchange. My wife is estranged from her direct family, so this was all of the uncles, aunties, and cousins. There were multiple nieces and nephews running around having a good time. Morning rolls around and all the kids are opening gifts, except my son. None of those entitled asshats got him anything. He sat there and watched everyone else open multiple gifts, and it broke my heart to see him sitting there with nothing. Fuck those people right up their stupid a-holes. When my mom defended her daughter's rapist, who was my mom's then fiancé, and told us not to tell anyone it happened. Yes, I contacted the proper authorities. Yes, he is in the courts and going to be imprisoned. My mother fought cancer for 5 years. My father let my sister and I do 95% of the work and caregiving, and after her death expected us to step into her place and take care of him. The man I used to love and respect is gone, and I can't stand to be around him anymore. When my grandfather screamed at my mother that she had ruined his life by being born, never spoke to him again after that. My husband adopted my son when he was 3 after being in his life since he was 1. Gave him his last name, the whole 9 yards. When we had a child of our own, who was a girl, and decided we were done having kids, his mother said to me, "It's a shame we aren't having more kids," as she would have liked someone to carry on the family name. I have only tolerated her at holidays ever since. Do you have a similar story? Leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this one.